Drones are getting smaller and safer, making indoor deployment practical. They're gaining traction for inspection, security patrols, and warehouse logistics. But indoors, global navigation satellite system is blocked, and even small drift can cause collisions. Reliable indoor localization is essential for stable flight and safe operation. Without it, autonomy is fragile in real buildings. GNSS-free localization often relies on extra sensors, but that is impractical for micro-drones. It adds weight, power, and setup cost. Camera-based methods reuse onboard sensors, so no additional localization hardware is required. Visual SLAM and VIO are representative camera-based methods that provide accurate relative motion estimation, but they rely on visual features and accumulate drift from IMU integration. Visible light positioning uses modulated ceiling LEDs to estimate absolute position. However, many drones use forward or downward-facing cameras, making it difficult to capture multiple ceiling LEDs in the camera's field of view. As a result, conventional VLP is sensitive to field of view and attitude constraints. To overcome these limitations, we present ReFDrone. It achieves single-frame, 4-degree of freedom localization, estimating 3D position and heading, using floor-reflected light and a rolling shutter landing camera. This avoids drift accumulation, requires no additional hardware, and mitigates field of view and attitude constraints. Floor-reflected LED light follows a Lambertian envelope. Intensity decays with distance. The drone's downward camera captures only a portion, but the spatial intensity gradient still points toward the incoming light. Rolling shutter cameras expose the image row by row, so each row is captured at a different time. With a modulated LED, the time-varying brightness is sampled across rows, turning temporal flicker into spatial stripes in a single frame. When a rolling shutter camera captures floor-reflected, modulated LED light, we approximate the image as two components: a smooth distance attenuation envelope, multiplied by a stripe pattern created by rolling shutter sampling. From one rolling shutter frame, we compute a 2D Fourier spectrum. Each modulated LED appears as a sharp peak at its harmonic order. The floor reflection envelope, set by geometry and distance attenuation, broadens this peak into an elongated spectral lobe. Its orientation encodes the LED's angle of arrival, so we estimate AoA by analyzing nearby coefficients. Even if reflections from multiple LEDs overlap, the captured image is simply their sum. By assigning each LED a distinct harmonic order, the 2D Fourier spectrum shows separate peaks for each LED. We can isolate each peak and estimate the AoA for every LED independently. We use a Lambertian model for the distance-based attenuation and estimate horizontal distance from the received signal strength at its assigned harmonic order. AoA is measured relative to heading, so rotation can make AoA ambiguous. We resolve this with least squares using two residuals: RSS-based distance consistency and AoA-based direction consistency, to estimate a unique 2D position and heading. Using the estimated 2D position and heading, we build a height model from simulation-derived floor reflection images. We track how the Fourier peak and its neighboring components vary with height, then fit the captured spectrum to this model to estimate the drone's height. Now we show real flight demos. The left side shows the flight video and the observed rolling shutter image. On the right, we plot the estimated position and heading from that data. You can see the rolling shutter stripes change over time. As the drone moves closer to or farther from the LEDs, the stripe contrast becomes stronger or weaker, reflecting distance-dependent attenuation. When the drone turns at the corner, the estimated heading rotates accordingly, showing that ReFDrone tracks both position and heading in real time. ReFDrone remains stable even during more complex trajectories, tracking both position and heading frame by frame. However, when the drone passes close to an LED, local errors can increase. This typically happens because the drone casts a shadow that reduces floor reflection contrast, making the modeled intensity distribution harder to maintain. Hovering accuracy is evaluated using only the first frame per condition, reported as 90th percentile errors. Estimates are stable overall, with higher errors near LEDs due to shadows. ReFDrone remains feasible with 2 LEDs, and more LEDs improve accuracy. We tested tracking at a roughly 33-second flight with altitude changes. estimating every frame with 4 LEDs. The trajectory matched ground truth, demonstrating stable frame-by-frame localization. We evaluated environmental robustness. Performance stayed stable across floors, even on a marble sheet. Near a white wall, secondary reflections increased position error within about 2 meters, but the effect was minor in practice, and heading was not significantly affected.